Om Sri Sai Ram. Hearty welcome to Sri Satya Sai Lok Seva Gurukulam. Science, Force and Motion. A very interesting chapter, and you are experiencing it in daily life. What do you mean by force and motion, right? So we have seen the definition of a force. Force is something which changes the speed of the moving body, or which will start motion in a body, or which will change the shape of the body, and so on. Is it not? And there are different kinds of forces, what you mean. And mechanical force you have heard, electrical force, and so on. So, force is a very important concept in day-to-day life. And when you say force, there are two things. One is called balanced force and unbalanced force. You remember in the previous class we gave example of tug of war. The two teams are of the same strength, or if they are pulling in with the same force, then it is called as balanced force. And if one of the team is stronger, then the pull will be stronger by them and it will be unbalanced force. So they naturally will pull the rope faster than the other. So that is what is called as unbalanced force. And also we have studied about what is called inertia. A body continues in a state of rest or of uniform motion until and unless it is acted upon by an external force. This unique property of body is called as inertia. Suppose you keep a book on a table, it will be there only unless you lift it or push it. That pushing, lifting, etc. is called application of force. So now your table, bench, desk, everything is on the floor. It will be there only for years together. Only when you apply some force and two boys come and lift it up or push it, then only it will change the position. So that property of the body is called as inertia. You remember an experiment which you told of pulling a glass of water kept on a table. Suppose you keep one paper below it and just pull the paper. Water will be there only in the glass. Even though you pull the paper below it, that is because of inertia. So like that you can give hundreds of examples. And also you have seen that inertia depends on mass. Means if you have a box, empty box, it is easy to push from one side to another side. The same box filled with books, it takes a lot of more force is needed. So depends on mass. If the mass is more, then inertia also is more. Suppose you have a toy elephant, it is easy to push it off. If there is a real elephant, very difficult to push, right? Because the mass is more. So this also we have studied in the previous class. And one more interesting law based on inertia, it is called Newton's first law of motion. Sir Isaac Newton, a very famous British scientist, who have formulated 3 laws of motion. The first law says, as John just now told, a body continues in a state of rest or of uniform motion until and unless it is acted upon by an external force. Suppose you have a car in your home. It will be there in the shed there only. Only when your father or mother or driver should come and open it and starts by giving a or by turning a proper key. Is it not? So the car starts moving and there that key acts as the force. And suppose on the way while going in a car, a dog comes in the way or a cat comes in the middle. Suddenly you have to apply force. So the moving car comes to rest by applying brakes. What you call it as brake. Brake is nothing but a force. So that is the first law of motion, which has got very good number of applications. Is it not? Now let us see the home assignments. What are balanced forces? When 2 or more forces acting on an object in opposite direction, they balance each other, then the forces are known as balanced forces. And very beautiful example which you are daily experiencing is a seesaw. In some of the schools it will be there, a wooden plank supported by a kind of a steel pipe. On that it is mounted on that, and 2 boys or girls, if they are sitting on either sides, it moves up and down. I think you follow what I am telling. It's called seesaw. There, if both the boys or girls are of the same weight and height, then what happens? It will be in the middle, steady. That is called as balanced force. And if one of the boy is having more weight, then what happens? There will be, one of the ends will go down and the other end will be lifted up. That is what is called as unbalanced force. So this is the answer for that. So they are acting in the opposite direction. When you say about a force, here it acts in the opposite direction. And if 2 forces acting in opposite direction, they are equal, then it is called as balanced force. And next question, what type of change can be produced by an unbalanced force on a body? So if one of the body has, if there is a more force is applied, what happens? When 2 or more forces acting on an object in opposite direction balance each other, then the forces are known to be balanced forces. And here the question is, what type of change can be produced? So the change is to which direction the force is applied, the body will move in that direction. If the force is less, if the unbalanced force is less, then the reverse process. Okay. Is there any force applied when a cricket player changes the direction of ball using his bat? And of course, in India, about 98%, I'm using the word 95 above, enjoy cricket. Some will play cricket. Even at the age of 90 also they enjoy cricket. They will have some complaints. They will tell something about that players, bowlers, etc. etc. Here is an incident. If there is any force applied when a cricket player changes the direction of ball by using his bat. Yes. Suppose a ball is coming from outside the off stump. What does the batsman do? He will connect it and hooks it off, or hits it, or give a defense to it. Like that, the speed of the ball is changed. So it is possible, and if a full toss comes, what happens? He can hit it to a sixer or a four. Sometimes he can give a catch also. So what does the batsman do? He will change the direction of the ball, and also he will change the velocity of the ball also. Both things are possible. One is the direction, another is velocity or speed of the ball. Is it not? Now give an example from daily life in which the shape of the object changes by applying force. Pressing a lump of dough with your hands, especially for preparing roti, chapati, etc. You will take what is called as flour, to which they add some oil, some little quantity of water also, some salt and all. Then they will press it. Is it not? That is what is called as lump of dough. So what happens? The shape of the flour changes, which was a powder like in the beginning. By adding oil and applying force, the shape changes. Then they make it a cylindrical shape. Then they cut in a knife, small round balls type. So there will be a change of shape of the object by applying force. So they will do in hand if the quantity is less. Sometimes they use a machine where all the dough or the flour is put into a machine and made to rotate. So like that, the shape changes by applying force. Next and last question. In tug of war game, the two teams exert equal forces. None of the team wins. Why? Because they exert equal forces, there will be what is called as balanced force. If there is a balanced force, the index in the middle, so mark, it will neither go this side nor that side, because both the forces are same. So none of the team wins. So both the team will be same. Now let us see some of the interesting topics of today. The momentum of a moving body is defined as the product of its mass and velocity. So here is a new word, momentum. You heard about movement. So, for example, if you have a truck and if a truck is loaded, if it starts moving, suddenly if it hits against a ball or it's against a boy or somebody, it may kill him. Is it not? Because mass is more. So, if the mass is more, we say momentum is more. Similarly, if you take a toy car and if you make a move in the same velocity, it will not do any harm. You can easily lift it also. Velocity is same, but mass is different. If a bullet is thrown by hand, it will not cause any danger. If the same bullet put in the rifle or gun, then if it is shot, it may kill a person. Is it not? So what is the difference? The difference is due to velocity. In case of bullet, the mass is same, but velocity is different. In case of trucks, the velocity is same, but mass is different. Anyway, the product of the mass and velocity is what is called as momentum. So it is a symbol that I use is P is equal to m into v, where m stands for mass, v stands for velocity. So how do you measure it? SI unit of momentum is kilogram meter per second. So mass is measured by kilograms. Velocity is measured by the unit meter per second. So kg ms to the power of -1. It is the unit for momentum. It is denoted by the symbol P. Momentum has both magnitude and direction because it has got both mass and velocity. For example, we have studied that force is required to stop a moving body depends on its mass. Now suppose two balls of same mass are moving with different velocities. We find that a faster moving ball requires more force to stop it. Thus, the force required to stop a body also depends upon its velocity. One more example here. Suppose you have a cork ball and a tennis ball. Cork ball means they are used for the matches. Which is easy to stop? Tennis ball, because the mass is less. Is it not? Mass is less, you can stop it easily. So, you can give a lot of examples. Suppose you have a bullock cart and a motor car. The mass may be same, but the velocity of car will be more. It's difficult to stop a moving car. But bullock cart can be stopped easily, even though mass is same, velocity is different. Okay, so this is a very interesting phenomenon called as momentum. Okay. Now on the basis of this momentum, we define the second law of motion. The second law says rate of change of momentum of a body is directly proportional to the force acting on it and takes place in the same direction. So, rate of change of momentum. You heard about momentum. The first momentum, if it is P1 and later moment is P2, so you have P2 minus P1 is a change in momentum. Rate means what? By T. So the force is proportional to that. So that is what is called as second law of Newton. And also one more thing is it moves in the direction of the force. Okay. And how do you measure momentum? Momentum P is equal to m into v. What is m? Mass. What is v? Velocity. So the force applied on it depends on the change of momentum. Okay. That is what is called as Newton's second law of motion. Now let us derive a formula. Always these formulas will be very easy to remember, and the laws also become very clear. So using the second law, we'll try to derive a formula. This is a very interesting aspect of physics. That is called derivation of physics, derivation of formulas. So here, derivation of the formula F is equal to m into A. What is m? M is the mass of the substance. A means acceleration. Now let us take the initial velocity of a body is u, meter per second. Final velocity as v, meter per second. Mass is m, say kilograms. Time taken is t seconds. Now force applied F is measured in the unit called as Newton, about which we will see the end of this. Then initial momentum becomes P1 equals m into u. Why u? U is initial velocity, m is a mass. Final momentum P2 is equal to m into v. So change in momentum becomes P2 minus P1. That is second law. So rate of change of momentum is P2 minus P1 by T. That is the second law. It is proportional to the force. According to Newton's second law of motion, force applied on a body is proportional to, this symbol is called proportional. When you say proportion, it is called direct proportion. And in daily life, you have got so many examples. If one pen costs 10 rupees, what is the cost of 5 pens? 5 into 10, 50 rupees. What is the cost of 10 pens? 10 into 10, 100 rupees. So number of pen increases, cost also increases. That is called direct proportion. Here also you have force is proportional to rate of change of momentum. Change of momentum is P2 minus P1. Rate is P2 minus P1 by T, because in the time T. So it is proportional to that. So that is on the basis of Newton's second law. And suppose you remove this symbol proportional to, then you have to use a constant called K. K into P2 minus P1 by T, where K is called the constant of proportionality. Okay, instead of putting this symbol, we put is equal to K. Okay, so this is a formula in general. Coming to particular formula, substituting P1 and P2 in the equation number 2 we get. So just now we have seen the previous equation. See here, K into P2 means you can write mv. P1 means mu. So mv minus mu by T it comes. So mv is P2 and mu is P1. Difference is mv minus mu. K is called constant of proportionality. So that becomes, if you take m outside, Km into V minus U by T. So we know the formula V minus U by T is A. What is A? Acceleration. How do you define it? Rate of change of velocity. A is rate of change of velocity. The initial velocity is U, it becomes V. So there is a change. Rate means divided by T. That becomes acceleration. So instead of this V minus U by T, you can write it as A. And to get the unit of force, so this is the formula. For getting unit of force, we will take some standard values. Let us take the weight of a substance is 1 kilograms. If a body of 1 kilogram moves with the acceleration of 1 meter per second square, then the force it exerts is called as 1 Newton, and the formula becomes F is equal to ma, because k becomes 1. If k becomes 1 in equation 3, so k is 1. So we say the unit of force is called Newton. Very important. Why it is called Newton? It is named after a scientist, and its symbol is N. 1 Newton is defined as a force which produces an acceleration of 1 meter per second square in a body of mass 1 kilogram. So that is what is called as 1 Newton. Here mass is 1 kilograms, acceleration is 1 meter per second square. Then we say the force is called 1 Newton. Suppose you keep some object of 100 grams on your palms, and if it produces, say, the acceleration, and then we say 1 Newton is equal to F is equal to 100 grams means 1/10th of a kg. If it is produces an acceleration of 10 meter per second square, then it becomes 1 Newton. 1 Newton. And symbol we are using is N. Okay. And 1 Newton is defined as the force which produces an acceleration of 1 meter per second square in a body of mass 1 kg. I am repeating because these are new things which are to drill it properly. So I think some of you can derive it easily, no? Practice yourself at least 3 times. You must write it, and write the units also properly, and then you see the big equation came to a very small formula. F is equal to ma. What is F? Force. What is m? Mass. What is a? Acceleration. In this formula, suppose you are given with m and a, mass and acceleration, can you find out force? Yes. Suppose you are given force and mass, can you find out acceleration? Yes. Suppose you are given force and acceleration, can you find out mass? That is also okay. So out of the 3 things, if 2 things are given, you can find the 3rd thing. Okay. So now let us work out some problems on this. Before that, we will see some applications of momentum and force. I think all of you know catching of a ball. While catching a ball, what happens? A batsman hits especially wicket, this is a wicket keeper who will be behind the wickets. Who is a famous wicket keeper of our Indian team? MS Dhoni. MS Dhoni, is it not? So while catching, what he has to do? While catching a fast moving cricket ball, a fielder moves his hands backwards. This is because the rate of change of momentum decreases. A small force is required to hold a catch, so the hands of the fielder do not get hurt. So here, if the ball comes here, he pulls it down like this. If it comes, he pulls it down. Why does it pulls it down? Just to reduce the momentum, because even though he is an expert catcher, he cannot catch it directly because it will have both mass and velocity, and the effect will be more. is it not? Now we will see one video. So in the video you have seen how he catches a ball. Whereas when a ball comes to the hand, we pull it downwards, is it not? Then only we will find the force becomes easier. Now let us see second example. A person gets hurt when he falls on a cemented floor. You students have a common experience. When you go in a cemented floor, we fall off for many reasons. Suppose some banana is fallen, you keep your leg on that and fall off. If water is spilled, sometimes unknowingly you fall off. If the floor is very nice, is it not? And especially when the elders fall, you should not laugh at them. You should support them. When your friend also falls, each one should help others, okay? And each one help one, and all should live for God, okay? So he gets hurt when he falls on the cemented floor because the person has some initial velocity which becomes zero. When he falls on the floor, he will be moving with some speed. Especially when when you start turning, if you fall off, that velocity becomes suddenly to zero. Or in other words, the momentum of the person becomes zero suddenly, in a short time. As the rate of change of momentum is very high, a very large force is exerted on the person and hence he gets hurted. Because he will not be expecting that I am going to fall. Suddenly he falls off. So momentum becomes more. Momentum becomes more, there will be more force acting on him, hence he gets hurted. So that is what we see here. And a third example, a karate player. How many know karate? What is the meaning of karate? In our annual sports meet also we use that event will be there, karate event. Karate means empty hands, a kind of stunts that is used. Nowadays it is very essential, especially girls. They have to learn karate. If there is any attack by persons, you should know how to resist it. There are different type of postures. So here is an example. A karate player breaks a pile of tiles. Two stools or two stones are kept on which the plank is kept. On that plank they keep some tiles, and that tiles, that is called pile of tiles, not 1, 3 or 4 like that. So the person can break it with one shot. How is it possible? Or in the case of slab of ice also, ice even though is made up of water, it is very, very hard, very difficult to break, is it? Because the molecules are very closely packed in ice. That is what is called as latent heat of ice. And with a single blow, if you break it, means what you do? A karate player hits the pile of tiles or ice as fast as possible with the hand. So you must use all energy, and that's why they give some sounds and they make them jerks. In doing so, the entire momentum of the hand is reduced to zero in a very short time. So in a punch, when he hits it on the pile of tiles, the momentum becomes zero suddenly. As a result, the force delivered on the piles or slab of ice is large enough to break it. So it breaks up easily because suddenly the force is applied and the momentum becomes very high, and this makes that pile of tiles to break. One more interesting example you can see. Suppose you have a bundle of sticks, tied to a string, and if you just lift it up, what happens? This is one example of that, tied with a small rope, and if you lift all the bundle with a small rope, it cuts easily because the momentum becomes more. The string breaks when the bundle is lifted quickly. Of course, if you take all care and lift it slowly, it may not break. Snap, it is called. But suddenly if you lift it, it will snap or cut off. So we will see one more video of the same type, wherein a stone is being lifted up. Okay, come on. So suppose you tie a stone, a cement block. You have seen the video, no? And that was lifted up. What happened? The thread which is tied to the slab cut off. Again, this is an example, beautiful example of force and momentum. Now let us work out some numerical problems. What is the acceleration produced by a force of 25 newtons exerted on an object of mass 2.5 kgs? So formula is very simple. F is equal to ma. What is F? Force. So force how much? 25. N means what? Newtons. What is A? A you have to find out. What is mass? M, 2.5 kgs. So acceleration is equal to, in the formula, A is equal to F by M. F is 25 newtons by 2.5. So answer comes to be 10 meter per second square. That is the acceleration. Is it alright? It's a 1 mark question. Maximum it will be 2 marks. So first you want to write the formula. Then you must write what is given. Third, you have to apply it. And unit also very important. Okay. Now we will see one more problem which would require a greater force. Accelerating a 2 kg mass at 5 meter per second square, or a 4 kg mass at 2 meter per second square. Which require more force is the question. Formula is F1, because there are two forces here, that's why F1, F2 you wrote. F1 is equal to M1 into A1, 2 into 5. 2 kg mass, 5 meter per second square. So 2 into 5, 10 newtons, first force. Second case you have mass is 4 kgs, acceleration is 2 meter per second square, 4 into 2, 8 newtons. The 10 Newton, the 8 Newton, which is more? F1 is more. So accelerating a 2 kg of mass at 5 meter per second square requires greater force. So it is a comparative question, a 2 marks question. I think you understood. Just applying it and comparing the forces. And now coming to home assignments. Two similar trucks are moving on a road with same velocity. One of them is empty, the other one is loaded. Which has more momentum? Second question, if a body of mass 5 kg moves with a velocity of 10 meter per second, what is the momentum of the body? So velocity is given, mass is given. Why does a boxer move his head backward while taking an oncoming punch? Okay, so come prepared for the next class. Thank you.